Hello everybody, this is Professor Sherman T. Crump, and I'd just like to wish everybody out there in the United States of America a happy 4th of July weekend. This is one of my favorite times of the year, mostly because of the barbecues that I get invited to. And don't worry out there if anybody wonders, my family and I are 100% socially distancing ourselves at these functions. We are socially distancing ourselves from the salad. That doesn't mean that we are not fans of the salad, but we just are staying 6 feet away from it at all times. Fact be, I'm actually recording this from one of the many barbecues that I was invited to over this weekend, and gotta say, love the spare ribs. Hey, hold a second. Hey, over here. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Clump's in charge of the coleslaw. Yeah, thank you very much. I'd just like to wish you all a happy 4th of July, and enjoy the podcast this week. I know Andrew put a lot of work into it. At least I think so when I was talking with him anyway. But y'all enjoy the 4th of July, and hey, call on the cob over here. Yeah, put it on my plate. Yeah, there you go. Clump's in charge, folks. If you excuse me, I'm gonna go back up for my 23rd plate. This is good food. It's time for the absolutely. I'm on my way. Completely. I'm almost there. Random. Why are there so many stairs? Podcast. Oh, jeez. With Andrew Rhodes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely completely random podcast for Saturday, July 4th, 2020. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. That's right. Man, it's been one hell of a year so far, huh? Hey! Don't worry about it. We still have, what, a good, 5 months left in this thing? It's a little over 5 months. Over 5 months. Just a bit over 5 months, I guess. A little less than 6 months, but over 5 months to go. We can do it. Like Bob the Builder used to say, can we fix it? Well, hopefully we can. But I would say yes, we can, but I'm not a psychic. Anyway. What do I got to talk about this week? Believe it or not, I actually have some topics here that sorry about that, I kind of hiccuped there a little bit, that I actually have been finding throughout the week, including, but not limited to, a bunch of animation cells from Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Studio Ghibli productions went up on auction, and this was really cool. Have you ever wanted to get married and have your marriage certificate be that of a Sailor Moon one? Well, good news if you live in Japan. That's pretty interesting. Some unfortunate news for World Trigger fans. The manga is taking a 1-month break due to the author's health, which is never a good thing because that just doesn't end well. Bevis and Butthead, the show from the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s anyway, is coming back with a 2-season spin-off at Comedy Central. So they're going to basically Futurama its ass, I can guarantee you that. And here's something interesting. There's a PS2 hack that allows you to run games that are burned onto DVD discs with no mod chip required. That is interesting, taking that I actually had a crap ton of PS2s. It pisses me off. Of course, PS2s will now be extremely more difficult to find. And a few other topics, just in case, because I don't know how long these are going to be, but those are mystery topics. All that this week on the absolutely completely random podcast. But before I go into this any further, you know the song and dance by now, I'm sure of it. ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay. Large variety of stuff. Come check me out. I swear to God, I am trying to get the new stuff up. Between stuff for my channel, other stuff that I'm working on, and I'm trying my damnedest to find a better job. I've just been looking for the last few years, and I haven't found anything. It has not been going well. Trying to get stuff up on eBay and like taking the photos and everything else is becoming a bit of a chore, but I'm trying, damn it. I am trying. You cannot blame me for that. But yes, if you're interested in any of my wares that I have up on eBay, come by, check out my eBay page, ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay. Don't forget to check out the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. Check me out over on Twitter at Otaku Rhodes. And hey, while you're here on the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. slam that bell notification to ring it so that you're kept up to date with all the latest videos that come from yours truly here at the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel. Alright, so before I get into how my week was, just wanted to pass this note along because I heard about it. I really wasn't planning to do anything for it because, honestly, I was not a huge fan of the man. But Carl Reiner sadly passed away this week at the age of, they say it was 98? Yeah, 98. Pretty sure it was 98. And unfortunately, this was sad, basically. He was a massive, massive here. I mean, the Wikipedia page alone, which, by the way, link in the description, is just gigantic here. Holy crap, is it massive. I mean, wow. I don't really think it has down here much on here. Let's see. He just died in the company of his family at the age of 98 on June 29th. So, yeah, he passed away. He was most noted for, and you'll probably, if you watch the older stuff, you probably know him for his role as the creator, producer, writer, and actor on the Dick Van Dyke Show. I was never a huge fan of that show growing up. He appeared in the 1963 movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. A few dozen other ones, including he co-wrote and directed some of Steve Martin's first and most successful films, including The Jerk, which is another movie that I really hate, because I do not like that movie at all, and I have seen it. I don't like it. But there's just so much stuff that he did, but sadly he passed away, and I was asked to put it up on the podcast to talk about it, and honestly, I had picked the topics this week just in case I was going to have to record early to avoid any possible fireworks or anything. Like, if I'd have to record Friday night or Thursday night, I would have my topics all set and ready to go. And I didn't have this one set yet because of that. I wanted to make sure I had enough time for the other stuff just in case. So I'll throw it in with my week here. If we can, quick, a moment of silence, as always, here on the podcast for the man, if we may. Rest in peace, Mr. Reiner. Alright, so, how'd my week go? As I said, before I got into my week, that's why I did that. So, how'd my week go? My week was weird. So, I basically had to kiss Contest of Champions goodbye. It was one of those, hey, guess what we're going to get screwed out of type of deals. And now, I knew this was coming, and I think I had said something about it here on the podcast, too, that effective June 29th, after that date, anyone running old Android devices below Android 6 wouldn't be able to play the game anymore, and it's true, you got kicked out of it. I ended up getting a new tablet. I was already looking into getting one to begin with, and I finally just bit the bullet and said, you know what, it's time, I'll just buy one, to hell with it, because I kind of needed it, in a way. And I thought, you know what the hell, I'll just, get the tablet, that way I at least have one, and I'm all set, ready to go then. I got it, I can re-download the game, I could play it if I want, but the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, do I really want to do it? And I did an entire discussion video on it. I can still install it yet, I just took it off my tablet, because I had already downloaded it. I took it off, because I'd have to sit down and get it up to date, and that's like an 800 and something megabyte download. To get it up to date, which is kind of annoying, but there is that. But the tablet I ended up finding was a Samsung Galaxy Tab A with 128 gigabyte storage, 3 gig RAM. So I can actually download a lot of other apps to play versus that. And my one coworker was telling me when him and I were working together, he said, you should try Future Fight, Marvel Future Fight. And I'm actually thinking I might, because he said that they revamped it recently from what it was originally. So I'm like, so this would be a good time then for me to get into it. He's like, oh yeah, yeah. Well, he goes, if you have the patience now. Oh yeah, and I'm just trading one Marvel game then for another. This one just won't be with Kabam. It'll be with somebody else. And I'm like, yeah, you know what the hell? I might just do that. So that was part of my week. I ended up watching a Markiplier video that I think I've watched that thing like 4 or 5 times this week alone. It was a Farmer Markiplier reporting where him and his buddy Bob and Wade were playing Farm Simulator 2019. And that was kind of funny because it was pretty funny. They're growing beets, sugar beets. And it's like, oh, cool, we have this entire thing figured out down to a science, and they had nothing figured out. The cheapest tractor they could buy was like $59,000. And he's like, that's the cheapest? Yeah, that's the cheapest tractor. And then they're getting equipment, and they're going there. It's like, oh, yeah, they had everything working smoothly. And then Mark's like, I'm going to go look for another tractor. I'm going to go find a better whatever, I think it was Wade. Whatever Wade was, he was going to go find a better version of Wade. And he comes back with this behemoth. And it's like, as he's there, because they leased it in the game, all of a sudden they're like, well, there goes $20,000. Mark, what did you buy? And he's pulling in, and I guess he activated the system to harvest the stuff a while, and it starts like transforming almost like a transformer. And it's like, oh my God! And he almost tips over. It was kind of funny. In a way, but I was watching that. Then he ends up making some weird noises like he's having, like he's watching an adult movie, and all of a sudden they're like, Mark, there went another $20,000. Mark, would you like to share with the class what it is you just bought? And he shows up with this big-ass tractor. And I'm just like, okay, this was funny. I can't wait for part 2, because it did say to be continued, so I can't wait for that. Other than that, this week's been pretty dull. I worked Wednesday and Friday. I ended up pissing off some relatives this week because when I got home on Wednesday, I was exhausted. We have to wear the mask at work, and in our back room, you're wearing the mask. It is hot when you're moving around and doing what I do. It is hot, and I was sweating pretty badly. In fact, when I got home, I had a Gatorade in the fridge to drink, like a Gatorade or a Powerade. I pretty much devoured that. And it's kind of bad since the week before, I actually bought a half-gallon of iced tea on the way home, and I pretty much made that my bitch. I finished it off in like 30 seconds when I got home. I didn't even nurse it. It was gone before 1 o'clock. It was completely empty. I was like, wow, this is not good. I was just that dehydrated. Because the water fountains at work are shut off, and they expect you, it's like, well, if you want something to drink, there's water available for you to buy 2 for $1, but there's no drawers in when I go to work because I work before the store opens, and that's just fun. So yeah, that was my fun this week. But I kind of annoyed, I guess I pissed off some relatives because I wasn't able to help with something, and I guess they saw me at home. It's like, well, no, he could have helped. No, I was tired. I was really tired. Like, I honestly don't even remember much of Wednesday afternoon after, like, I had lunch. I don't remember much of anything till I got out till about 2 o'clock. I don't really remember much. So what does that tell you? But that was I don't even remember what I watched Wednesday, to be honest with you. I know I watched Star Trek I think I watched Insurrection. Or is that... No, I think that might have been Thursday. I don't know, it's one of the 2 days. I ended up watching Star Trek. I love Star Trek. And Insurrection is the second of the 2 Next Generation movies that I like. The first being First Contact, and Insurrection's second. So that was a real good... that was a good day for me when I watched that. But then it was just basically one thing after another this week. The heat's getting to me. Although I did go to Walmart today. My mom had to get some stuff, so I went in with her. I picked up a pillow. I picked up a couple DVDs. I got Flushed Away. I got Ants. I got a birthday present from my one friend whose birthday's in November. So that'll work out well. I already got her birthday present, so that works. I picked up the Optimus Prime figure from Bumblebee the Cyberverse Bumblebee series, because Bolt Matrix reviewed it and I liked it. And I picked up a freaking pillow because I have been needing a new pillow in my room. It's the sad part. I mean, I could go to Walmart, I could walk right by those pillows half a dozen times and go, nah, not today, nah, not today, nah, not today. Today I looked at it, it's like, no, today's the day. I'm buying one of you sons of bitches. I'm buying it today. And I did. It was hot in that store. A lot of the shelves were empty. I mean, like, really empty. Most of the shoe section was almost completely decimated. Most of the grocery aisles were somewhat filled, but not completely filled. The toy section was just a complete... It almost looked like it was Christmas Eve in there, basically. That there's nothing on the shelves. And I'm just like, damn. And I'm like, this is just going to be one of those years, isn't it? But, yeah, so that's how my week pretty much went. Got my new tablet, because that came Thursday. I was so happy about that. I bought it Tuesday, and it came Thursday. Free 2-day expedited shipping from via FedEx, and I loved it. That was beautiful. Just so damn beautiful. But yeah, that's how my week went. So let's get into the podcast, shall we? Because I got topics to talk about, and I'm on a bit of a time crunch to get this done before the neighbors start shooting off fireworks for the 4th. Oh boy. Alright, so I love this. So, as many of you know, I loved the PlayStation 2. It was one of the game consoles I actually owned. I owned a Nintendo GameCube, I owned a PS2, I had a Game Boy Advance, an SP, a DS, and a DS Lite. And I ended up having an Xbox that a buddy of mine gave me, and then, yeah, well, there's that. But this is really cool. So there's apparently a hack that you can do with the PlayStation 2 that will allow you to run games that are burned onto DVD discs. No mod chip at all is required. So what worries me now is I can just suddenly see on the secondary markets like eBay and that PS2s going up in price now. We're going to be talking like $600-700 PS2 now probably. They're going to become a hot commodity. So this is really cool. So it was apparently an idea that a lot of people have had as a kid. Software security engineers, CTURT has developed a way for people to play unofficial games on a PlayStation 2 console by burning them onto a DVD alongside an exploit. So this is really cool. But there is a blog post here which I am going to pull up because I want to hear the technical aspects of this. Okay, so the technical aspect is the free DVD boot hacking the PS2 through its DVD player. Gotta love this. So, I previously discussed, and this is off of CTURT's blog, by the way, how the PlayStation 2 doesn't have any good entry point software exploits for launching Homebrew. You need to either purchase a memory card with an exploit pre-installed, or a memory card USB adapter and HHD expansion bay, not available to slim consoles, which figures. Open up the console to block the disc tray sensor, or install a mod chip. For the best-selling console of all time, it deserves better hacks. And I'm literally quoting right off the blog here. And there's a video even explaining this. I mean, they have a Tetris for the PlayStation 2. So this is really cool. I just freaking love this. So the initial attempt to solve the issue was to exploit the basic interpreter that came bundled with early PAL region PS2s. Although he was successful in producing the first software-based entry point exploit that can be triggered only using hardware that came with the console, the attack was largely criticized due to the requirement of having to enter the payload manually through a controller or keyboard, and limitation of being PAL only. For those of you that don't know what PAL is, Google it. Even I'm not 100% sure anymore. I know it was like NTSC was US based. I think PAL was the European version. But don't quote me. I might even be a little off on that. So that was the exploit. They were being written off as impractical. So the hunt continued. But I just love this. It is, is it possible to just burn your own homebrew games and launch them on an unmodded console the same way you would launch official disks without going through any user interaction like disk swapping or triggering a network exploit in a game. And there's a video. I love the fact that there's a video. There's an actual YouTube video explaining all this. I love this. So the DVD video player attack surface. You just can't burn a disk containing an ELF file and expect the PS2 to boot it. You need to exploit some kind of hardware vulnerability related to, parasing the controlled data. I love this. So if you think about what a DVD video consists of, there are quite a few main components, each with the potential for vulnerabilities. You have the UDF file system, the DVD video metadata and subtitles, the audio and video decoding, the interaction machine. But I love this. So whilst the complete DVD video specification is unfortunately behind a paywall, it is comprised largely of open formats like MPEG, just bundled together in a proprietary container format, VOB. For propriety aspects, there are some freely accessible unofficial references. The IFO file format is probably the simplest format used and is responsible for storing the metadata that links the video files together. Then it just goes into how to do it. Again, I'm not gonna say that because, this is impressive enough. You can find the link in the description. Dear God, this is impressive. But that's if you want the technical aspects of how this works. So now the layman's terms. If you just want the too long, didn't read version, basically, thank you Kotaku for putting that up, by the way. He basically created a way of exploiting the console's DVD player functionality by triggering a corruption in video playback and then running a game through the resulting hole blown in the system's copy protection. So in other words, here's what Sony should have done. Figure out a way to not have that. I just get a kick out of that. Why does this matter? Because all you need to do is insert a disc. The same way you'd launch any other PS2 game. You don't need to get a mod chip. You don't need a special USB exploit. You just put the disc in and you can play fresh code without changing anything else about the console. That's it. I'm freaking out about this because if this would have came out a couple years ago, back when I still had a PlayStation 2 and I still had the aspect and the propriety to get one, I would have jumped on this in a heartbeat. So, C-Turt's blog post goes into great details, and my God, does it ever go into great details, explaining it, triggering the exploit and everything. It goes into great lengths to emphasize the word homebrew. But if you were wondering about any more direct applications for the exploit, two of his demo videos show a PS2 running an SNES emulator and a backup copy of Shadow of the Colossus. That's more than enough evidence for me. This clearly works on a PS2, though. Apparently, C-Turt theorizes that the same exploit, or at least the same principle, might work on everything from the PS1 to a PS4 as well, saying there's really no reason this general attack scenario is specific to the PlayStation 2. It's all generation support. Some combinations of burned media from PlayStation 1 CD support to the PlayStation 3 and 4's Blu-ray support. With the PlayStation 4 having only removed CD support, hacking the PS4 through Blu-ray or BDJ functionality has long been discussed as an idea for an entry point. This may be something that I would be interested in looking into for a long-term future project. And for those of you out there at Sony wondering why people are able to do this, it's because you haven't actually given us the game system we've wanted for so fucking long. People have been wanting a PlayStation 2. For starters, a lot of people have been wanting a multi-system player. As in a game system that can play games from any system. I swear if somebody could make it about the size of a PS3 or even a PS4, not have the issues, not have it be emulator, that you can literally pop in the disc or pop in a cartridge and you can play those games on this system, you would be in business tremendously. I mean, granted, there would be lawsuits out the ass. I mean, I remember Ian Ferguson making a comment years ago that if, like, Microsoft would allow Sony to do, it's like, here, yeah, Sony can put stuff on Microsoft, so like, you can play PS2 games on an Xbox. I could see people losing their freaking shit and lawsuits going all over the place. Hey, look at this! This is literally that exact system right here. I mean, what's to stop somebody from burning an Xbox game, popping it onto a DVD, putting it into the PS2, and playing it on a PS2? I mean, you can play SNES games, apparently. I mean, could this thing play Super Mario Sunshine? If this can play Super Mario Sunshine, if I can literally give you my entire list of games that I owned for the GameCube and the PS2, could it play those, like, flat out, and I could just enjoy them again? Because I liked Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube. It had Link. I loved Custom Robo. It's one of my favorite games on the GameCube. I loved Zoid's Battle Legends. Those are games I would love to play again. And this will also work, I'm assuming, for, like, you know, backup discs, too. Because some games are rare, some games might be, like, damaged, and the person will go, here, let me pull off the data, put it onto another disc, just in case this disc stops reading all of a sudden because it's scratched to all hell, and I'm not out the money for the game, I can still play it then. I mean, this is huge. And the fact that this could possibly work from anything from the PS1 up to the PS4 means that you could literally go buy an El Cheapo PS4 and watch some Tronix Fix videos. There, I'm just going to give him a free plug. Watch some Tronix Fix videos where he'll show you how to fix them. Then use C-Turt's exploit here, and you can play freaking Nintendo games on your PlayStation 4 that you bought for like $20. You put maybe $30 in to fix it, and you're now playing, Nintendo games, Xbox games, anything you want. You're playing it all on one game system. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call the dawn of the new civilization. When you've officially gotten to the point where you can create a game system, even by an exploit. So this makes me wonder, though, that Sony never figured this out. That they think nobody would ever figure this. That's what bothers me. It's almost like, yeah, here. Boom. One massive, gigantic, right here. Boom. You can play a crap ton of games. And, I mean, first off, that would interest me if I had the time and effort to download, like, all the emulators and that. I mean, I could probably put Golden Sun on a DVD. I could probably put all three of them on a DVD. Boom, boom, boom. I could play Golden Sun on... I'm assuming that this would probably work for GBA games, too. You play Pokemon on a freaking PlayStation console. You could play, Tales of, well, there was a PS2 Tales of Symphonia game, but it was only released in Japan. So you can play the North American one on a PS2. A 2-disc game. There's 2 discs for the GameCube. A 2-disc game comprised to one big-ass disc. Boom! You're now able to play it on a PlayStation 2 because of this exploit. I love that. I hear the angels singing on this one. This is a miracle. And now, the downside, though, is that I can instantly see somebody doing this on a PlayStation 4 that's still connected to the internet, and all of a sudden, Sony finding out about this and go, whoa, 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 here. You cannot do that. And then just, like, bricking your console as punishment. Or, I mean, this would probably work, I would assume, for, like, the PS2 and definitely probably the PS3. Because of the fact that those two are outdated technology at this point. I wouldn't want to try this with a PS4 because, like I said, Sony's liable to find out about this through you having it connected to the internet. And then all of a sudden, they're just like, whoa, hold a second here. Back up. What the hell have you been doing on our console? Oh, hell no. No. That shit ain't flying with us. And then they just brick your console. And that's the end of that. I could see that possibility. The fact that this is an impressive way to play games like this on a... First off, I mean, the PS2 was one of the best consoles that was made during that generation. GameCube was like a close second, in my opinion, and Xbox, honestly, I cannot tell you a single Xbox game that would have even piqued my interest. There's GameCube games that piqued my interest, PS2 games that piqued my interest. I could not tell you a single Xbox game that would have piqued my interest. But definitely GameCube and PS2, without a doubt. And if I could play GameCube games on a PS2, sweet. I mean, Super Mario Sunshine, Custom Robo, Tales of Symphonia, Zoid's Battle Legends, Gotcha Force, Digimon World 4. I think there was a PS2 version of that, though. God, there's so many other games that I had for that thing. Oh, man, there were so many. I get it, like decent racing games, some fighting games. Oh, I would be in love right there. I probably would lock myself in my room and I probably would never come out. I'd hook up a TV. I find like an El Cheapo TV, hook that up, get some speakers going, just sit in my room and go, yeah, I'm never coming out. 6 years later, you find a dead skeleton sitting in a chair holding the controller as the screen's still flashing. You know, you're a winner and I'm just there. Bony hands are just holding the controller. But no, this honestly is impressive, though. All joking aside, this is impressive. So kudos to C-Turt for coming up with this hack. I'm just wondering at this point how long it's going to take Microsoft to figure out a workaround for the future consoles and to figure out a way to sue people that try to do it for the older ones. Because God knows they're going to try it. Not them, Nintendo, Microsoft, anybody else. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how well that pans out, won't it? Alright, so here's some news that might disturb some World Trigger fans out there. So, and by now, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much okay with this, since it's a natural thing that happens with this series. World Trigger's manga is taking a 1-month break, sadly because of the author's health. The official Twitter account for Daisuke Ashihara's World Trigger manga announced on Monday that the manga will not appear in the August issue of Shueisha's Jump SQ magazine due to Ashihira's poor physical health. The magazine is set to ship today. The manga is scheduled to return in the September issue. So, this is not an uncommon thing. World Trigger has taken massive hiatuses before. This one's only going to be a month, so that's actually not that bad. It went on hiatus back in 2016 due to Ashihara's poor physical health and returned in October of 2018 for 5 issues before moving to Shueisha's Jump SQ magazine in December that same year. The manga then took a 1-month break June of last year so that Ashihara could recover from intestinal obstruction complications that arose from his recent gallbladder removal surgery. The manga took another 1-month break last November due to Ashihara's poor physical health. It's not an uncommon thing to happen. First off, I mean, I hope Ashihara, I hope you have like a speedy recovery, and I hope you do get well. Don't get me wrong. But it's not an uncommon thing. If you've ever listened to me on this podcast before, and you've ever read Bakuman, you know that the life of a manga artist is not an easy thing. And honestly, it's a miracle that they're able to get a lot of stuff done. Especially Ashihara, because of all of the issues that he's had medically wise. Took a 1-week break in September of 2014 to treat a nerve root affected by cervical spinodosis, wear and tear on the neck area of the spinal column, and then took several 1-week breaks due to sudden illness. So just mostly 1 week. Then you had, like I said, the almost 2-year hiatus that it was on. and everything else. And we are getting the World Trigger is coming back anime series yet, so there is that. I know it's scheduled at some point. I know Dr. Stone, they announced, is coming back next year. That'll be 2021's anime arc, because it'll be the Stone Wars for that. Fire Force just started up this week, so I'm looking forward to watching that. But yeah, I mean, it happens. It really does. It does happen. Stuff happens, and you can't prevent it. And especially with his poor physical health, hey, figure it this way. He's not throwing in the towel just yet. If he has to take a couple breaks to basically, recuperate, that means he's pushing himself to make the series that he knows is bringing his fans joy. It bothers me a bit that he's pushing himself for that, but at the same time, as somebody that does something similar, I mean, I could be sick as a dog, I'll still do the podcast. I respect it. I really do. Because that means you care more about the fans than you do about yourself. And you're putting them above yourself. While that's a good thing, it's also a bad thing, but he is rectifying that by taking some breaks, or they have to take hiatuses. They have to take, this and that, and oh good, the noises start now, I guess. Yeah, if you heard that bang outside, that was fun. But yeah, this happens. Physical health illnesses, diseases, something will come up, family situations, emergency situations, something will always happen that is outside of our control. And when it comes to manga artists, there is a humongous, aspect that they almost always run the risk of at some point, somehow, either getting sick, getting dehydrated, overworking themselves, or something that ends up resulting in them having to take a break for a while to recuperate. And it bothers them, I think, more than it does the fans, because I know like a lot of the fans will be complaining, oh great, it's going to go on hiatus again. God damn it, it just came back and now it's going off again. Whereas, what this is bothering the creator more than it's bothering you. Because you're going to have the creators now going to be sitting at home going, I really could be working on those. And they're going to be stressing themselves out more. And they're not going to be recuperating well enough that it'll end up getting worse again. This stuff does happen. So, it's just, like I said, it happens, at least it's only going to be a 1 month hiatus, so it's not that bad. And I think, in all honesty, if they end up doing it this way, it's like, look, work on like 2 months worth, then we'll give you a month off. Work 2 months worth, we'll give you a month off. And just do that cycle. I don't think it's going to hurt World Trigger, because at this point, the fans are diehard of it. They are diehard fans at this point. If you're trying to capture new people, let the fans do it for you. Let the fans get, you have created the property. Let the fans go out there, bait the hooks with how good it is, tell the people how good it is, and let them be the ones to drag the new people into the series. Don't try to drag them in yourself. Let the fans do it for you. Let the fans go out there and say, hey, did you read this series yet? Dude, you got to read this series. It is fucking amazing. And let the fans drag them in. You just keep, doing what you do, take care of yourself, and everything will fall into place. I can guarantee it. But yeah, so while it is sad, but it's understandable. And I'm not exactly upset about it. I'm mostly just waiting for the next arc in the anime to come out. For the anime to come back. That's mostly what I'm waiting for. Because I got hooked on that anime. And that is one of the few subtitled animes that I loved. Oh man, did I love that. Yeah, the dub version of that. Whoa, is that dub version garbage. Wow. That dub version was garbage. The sub version, beautiful. Mwah, beautiful. I'll chef kiss that thing all day. That was beautiful. Oh man. But the dub version, hell no. But I'm just hoping that Daisuke Ashihara's gonna feel better. Hopefully you do. Hopefully, it's nothing majorly serious. It's just like, hey, I'm overworked a little bit, and I have a month off to, recuperate a little bit so I don't burn myself out and end up in the hospital and I'm out for like 6 months. That's not a bad idea. And like I said, it really wouldn't be that bad of an idea to do like 2 months. Like, hey, can you come up with like 2 months worth of stuff and we'll give you a whole month off? If you can come up with like 2 months worth of content, we'll give you a month off then in between. Because then it would take it from, let's see, factoring in, I'd have to factor in the Japanese holidays, but going by the standard months, if you do 2 months on, 1 month off, out of a 12-month calendar, you have 2, 1, 2. So you'd have at least 2, 4, 6, 8. Hold on. 1, 2 off. 1, 2 off. 1, 2 off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that'd be a pretty decent thing. It would have. I'm trying to figure out exactly how many it would be. On, off, on, off. 5 by 12. That's 6. It'd be less than that. Oh, well, either way, it'd still be pretty good. You'd have at least, like, maybe 8... I figure in, like, at least 8 months worth of content, and then he gets, like, 4 months off in between. That's my best estimate of it. My brain's not working at full capacity right now. It's overheating. But, yeah, either way, that's pretty cool. But, hopefully it's not, like I said, hopefully it's nothing serious, and it'll only be a 1-month hiatus, and you'll be able to come back. But I don't think your fans are going to go anywhere, so you don't have to worry about that. And you're definitely going to be having more fans coming soon when people talk about the first half of the anime series in preparation for when the new stuff comes out. You're going to have plenty of new fans coming your way. I can guarantee it. Alright, so this is definitely something that caught my attention earlier this week. Now, this has already happened, by the way, as of this recording. So, today, on July 4th, a bunch of Cels were auctioned off online. So this coming weekend is full of cons that have gone online. So basically this weekend here. And Cel Gala is here to fill the void further with a special event. So the London-based gallery held a live online Cel auction. Complete with authentic vintage anime production Cels from the likes of Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and the films of Studio Ghibli. And they actually have like a picture up here, I'm guessing, of some of the Cels that were auctioned off. I found, as I was looking at it earlier this week, I have at least 3 Hunter x Hunter, at least 3 Dragon Ball, like 3 Dragon Ball Z. I think a Ranma half, but I'm not 100% sure. I know at least a couple Yu Yu Hakusho. There's Gundam Wing, Lupin the Third, Street Fighter. I think Dragon Quest, Slayers, Saint Celia. Just to name a few of them that I can see up here. Princess Mononoke. I know there's at least 1 Ranma half on here. But yeah, that's pretty damn impressive. That's a lot. They even have like some Card Captor Soccer on here. So, still, that's fucking impressive. Then there's like a giant picture of Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service, which is really cool. So the inaugural auction had Cel Gala partnering with JG Auction to offer up 191 production Cels. That's impressive. So a selection of authentic Studio Ghibli Cels were up for bidding without naming specific titles. That was pretty much today. It was 2 p.m. BST, or British Standard Time. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was... I don't know how good it did. I didn't watch it. I was busy this morning with other stuff. This is pretty cool. So the founder... E. Wertheim commented on the upcoming event. We believe Cel auctions will be an opportunity for anime fans to come together and enjoy an online gallery showcasing the best of anime's history and magic from the comfort and safety of their homes. Goddamn right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like it. I really do. I thought this is actually pretty damn interesting. And it's the fact that there's just a lot of Cels on here that people would, honestly, I'm not even lying, people would pay good money for these. Wholeheartedly, they would pay good money for these. And, I mean, if this was going to go for, like, charity or something, you're going to make a decent amount of money via charity. If not, well, hey, you're still making a decent amount of money no matter how you slice and dice this. Either way, this is pretty cool. Yeah, this was impressive. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going through the picture that they have up here in the article, and I got, like, Cardcaptor Sakura up in the one corner. That looks like Killua from Hunter x Hunter. Above him is Krillin. Then I think it's a Ranma half. Then there's Sailor Scouts from Sailor Moon. Lupin the Third. I swear that's Simba from that Japanese Lion King knockoff. Yukina from Yu Yu Hakusho. Then I got Killua and Gon up in the upper right corner. Some Lupin the Third. I see Goku. I think I know the one's a Studio Ghibli film. I just don't know which one. And that's right above Sailor Moon herself, or Unagi. Then I see another Gon in here. I see Korin. I got I think that's the Turn A Gundam. I got what looks like Sandrock, or I think that might be Sandrock, but I'm not sure. Over on the side, I see the Gundam Wingcast. I got Goten. I'm pretty sure that one's Saint Celia there. Not sure the one directly underneath it, or the other one's right around that one. They don't look familiar to me. But yeah, and I see Yusuke, so yeah, they got a pretty decent amount here. If this was just a fraction of it, because it said 191, and there's no way this is 191. I mean, you have Princess Mononoke's on there. I'm almost sure that's who that is. But yeah, there's no way that this is all of them. I think the one's GTO. I think there's a GTO one on there too. And you got Kiki yourself then in the other picture. So you figure out of 191 of them, I guarantee you people went home with some decent. They pretty much were satisfied with some decent cell animations that they got. This is pretty cool, actually, and this is something that, first off, it's going to go to a collector, so it's going to go to somebody that is going to worship and cherish this. It'll be passed down from generation to generation. It's not something that they're going to buy and turn and burn. Or if they do turn and burn it, then somebody else that wanted it will just pay a little more and still have it and still be happy that they own it. So it's not exactly a massive love loss. It's just an impressively unique way of showcasing this, and I really do appreciate this. I think this is really neat. This is unique. This is definitely something that's cool, and honestly, the future, I think, of how a lot of stuff's going to be handled from now on. There's going to be like live auctions online, and you just have to put in your bid for stuff online and be done with it. Then it'll just get shipped to you. I think that's how a lot of stuff's going to go now. And honestly, that's fine. I mean, eBay could make a crap ton of money doing it. Other people can too, right? So, yeah. But I think this was pretty cool. I know everybody missed it, sadly, but, it happens. But still, this is pretty impressive that it even happened. Hopefully we'll have another one down the road. Who knows? But this was pretty cool. I have to admit that. Alright, so for those of you out there that grew up in the 90s, and it's now 2020, like the late 80s, early 90s, and you all of a sudden hear somebody that's like in there, I want to say teens to early 20s, start going around and saying, I am the great Cornholio? Hey, here's why. The Hollywood Reporter has announced and put up that Bevis and Butthead, the iconic MTV pop culture phenomenon from Mike Judge, will be returning with a 2-season run on Comedy Central. A 2 seasons and spinoffs. Okay, so 2 seasons and spinoffs. So Comedy Central will be summoning the great Cornholio, apparently. So Viacom, CBS-owned cable network, is reviving Beavis and Butthead. I didn't even know that they owned Comedy Central. That's even worse. I'm sorry. With series creator Mike Judge returning to relaunch and reimagine the franchise as part of a sizable deal that includes a 2-season order and plans for additional spin-offs and specials. So they're obviously going to be giving this the Futurama treatment, and we all know how well they treated Futurama. It was screw you, screw you, screw you. Then when the money stopped coming in, kiss off. Judge will return as the show's central driving force and will write, produce, and provide voices for both of the iconic characters who became pop culture sensations in the early 90s on Comedy Central's corporate sibling MTV. You know, music television that used to actually be really good until it started to suck. The new incarnation of Beavis and Butthead will enter a whole new Gen Z world with meta themes that are said to be relatable to both new fans and new fans who may be unfamiliar with the original series and old. I love this part. So Chris McCarthy, who oversees Viacom CBS, was quoted as saying, "We are thrilled to be working with Mike Judge and the great team at 3 Arts again as we double down on adult animation at Comedy Central. Beavis and Butthead were a defining voice of a generation, and we can't wait to watch as they navigate the treacherous waters of a world light years from their own." You want to know what I remember about Beavis and Butthead? I never actually watched the show because that was the one thing that if my mom heard them, it wouldn't have mattered what part of the house I was in. She could hear them. Boom. TV got removed from my room. And I know my mom's probably sitting there is listening to this and going, yep. Because she did not like them. Years later, because I ended up, my one buddy Sean, he watched Beavis and Butthead. And I ended up seeing the movie on Comedy Central because I was channel surfing the one day. And the only thing that I remember from that is, I'm pretty sure it was Butthead that came out. Comes out and the FBI guy's like, well, they want something. And he's like, well, I don't know. And it's like, okay, the FBI guy tells somebody else to give this kid a full cavity search. Go full roto-rooter on him. Don't stop till you reach the back of his teeth. That's the only thing I remember, because every time I walked into Walmart after they put in the turnstile and everything, I'm like, yeah, I am waiting for them to suddenly do cavity searches as I'm walking out of Walmart. That's what I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for that. Holy crap. I mean, Jesus. I'm just imagining that. But, yeah, I remember Beavis and Butthead from the thing. They launched in 1992. I know that there were people that claim that they saw a lot of their stuff in the early 90s. I don't see how in the hell that was possible unless Judge put out some shorts that I wasn't aware of. But, I mean, I don't know. For Viacom CBS be taking a massive roll of the dice on this, I mean, Beavis and Butthead was an iconic thing back in the day. But this is like a massive thing here. But this isn't the only show that I guess apparently is coming back. Yeah, so there's some other ones. Apparently Daria is among a slate of reboots that are apparently being shopped around according to a small little advertisement that's popped up here for Read More. But the new take on the teenage couch potatoes comes less than 10 days after Comedy Central became the home of Jody, the adult animated series that is a spin-off of Daria, which itself was an offshoot of Judge's Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead, like the Tracy Ellis Ross-led Jody, hails from MTV Studios, the in-house division launched 2 years ago by McCarthy with the goal to monetize the company's vast library and sell to third-party buyers. With McCarthy now overseeing Comedy Central, MTV, and a slew of other cable brands at the company, he's now turning the studio into a content supplier of his own. I have some issues here, but I will hold off. Beavis and Butthead originally launched as part of MTV's Liquid Television in 1992 before being turned into a series a year later. The show would run between 25 and 50 original episodes a year through 1997, before being revived for an 8th season in 2011. A feature film, Beavis and Butthead Do America, which is where that line "Go Full Roto-Rooter on him" was from, debuted in 1996 and grossed $63 million domestically on a budget of $12 million. Judge's unadulterated satirical look at Gen X became a pop culture phenomenon, complete with merchandising lines including comic books, multiple video games, as well as a spin-off Daria. The series is known to have inspired Trey Parker and Matt Stone to create South Park. "It seems like the time was right to get stupid again," Judge quipped, of Beavis and Butthead's return. When I first heard about this, the first thing that came to my mind is Judge must be hard up for cash. But then I remembered, no, because he does a hell of a lot of other stuff. I doubt highly that he was hard up for money. Because he probably still gets royalty rights when King of the Hill airs on Adult Swim. He probably gets royalty rights for a lot of his other stuff. And he's did deals, I think, with HBO and other places. So he's got money. So I'm just like, okay, so they just really want to bring back Beavis and Butthead. All right. I mean, we've basically gone through every single decade this year alone. Why not? Let's just go back to the 90s. You know, the 90s was a good time for me. I was little Andrew back then. I was small. I didn't know how the world worked. But I was pretty well enlightened by it. And I had hope, damn it. Now I don't anymore, but I did. And I apologize for the exploding. The fireworks have started. So the deal with Judge marks a homecoming for the prolific comedy creator who launched his career with the series before going on to write and direct features Office Space, which is really good, and Idiocracy, which is also good. Both movies, by the way, I actually own. The Fox series King of the Hill, which wasn't bad, and the HBO's live-action Emmy-winning comedy Silicon Valley. The Beavis and Butthead Pact is an addition to his rich overall deal with Warner Media-backed HBO, where he has been based for years. Under that deal, Judge is already working on 2 series, Quality Land and Limited Entry A5. Don't know what the hell that means. Like, crap, I guess. For its part, Comedy Central continues to ramp up its animated offerings with Beavis and Butthead joining Jody as well as veteran South Park, which honestly at this point should just be freaking canceled. It should. I watched a lot of the last season of South Park, and it offended me to no freaking end. Their Christmas special was atrocious. The Cabler is also home of syndicated repeats of adult animated series, including BoJack Horseman, Judge's own King of the Hill, and Seth MacFarlane's The Cleveland Show. It's worth noting that Judge and co-creator Greg Daniels had preliminary conversations with Fox for a King of the Hill revival in 2017. I would have been down for that. I would have been down for a King of the Hill revival. There was still some stuff left that was left off the table. You could make it Hates a Revival. Set years later, Bobby's graduated from high school. He's married Connie. And he's getting ready to open up a propane business or something. I don't care. He wants to open up like a steak place. I don't care. Hank's retired or something. There could have been a lot of really uniqueness for this. But this is McCarthy's second programming acquisition for Comedy Central since he took over from former network president Kent Alderman as part of a larger Viacom-CBS executive consolidation. Since then, Comedy Central has canceled Alternatano with Arturo Castro. I have no idea. It moved to Quibi anyway. And Lights Out with David Spade while renewing its Crank Yankers revival. I liked Crank Yankers, but at the end of the day, the first season was about the best. Second season, they phoned it in. Aquafina is Nora from Queens, which that pisses me off more than anything. I saw the trailers for that, and that pisses me off. And Tosh Point for 4 more seasons. Oh wow. Adult animation continues to be a growth genre for broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms. In success, shows like Rick and Morty repeat well and bring in younger audiences and can often lead to profitable merchandising lines. Yes, there's so much. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's so much Rick and Morty crap I have seen. It's not even funny. There's Rick and Morty posters, T-shirts, figures. There's a Rick and Morty app called Pocket Mortys. There is a Rick and Morty cell phone thing I saw somewhere. There are cell phone cases for Rick and Morty. There's so much Rick and Morty crap. It isn't funny. Franchises like Family Guy and Bob's Burgers, for example, are considered to be worth billions. Bob's Burgers is worth billions. Really. Well, and then again, that outlasted the Cleveland show. It's I mean, the Cleveland show, I remember the one joke that they did in the Family Guy episode that I saw, where when Cleveland moved, wow, that one was good, where Cleveland moved back to town, moved back to Quahog. It's like, oh yeah, well, we were trying to keep up with Bob's Burgers. That's where your goal was? I mean, Bob's Burgers, the best episode was the pilot episode, and the rest of it's just been stabilized. Family Guy, though, lost it years ago. But they're considered to be worth billions. What's more, animated series are able to be produced remotely during the coronavirus pandemic that has shut down hundreds of film and TV projects, which is true. In fact, I recently found something out that I didn't know about. American Dad, they actually, not everybody was in the recording studio for that at one time. They recorded their lines separately. So that definitely, that is really impressive that they can do that. And if you can record and produce stuff remotely, yeah, that's even cheaper then. You don't have to rent out a studio. But, oh yeah, this is, wow. So yeah, if you're looking forward to the return of Beavis and Butthead, you don't have to wait much longer, I guess. It'll soon be coming back. The revival is happening. Am I looking forward to it? You know what? What the hell? Like I said, they were an iconic part of the 90s. They were basically part of everybody's fanfare. We all knew about them for the longest time. What the hell? Why not? Let's have Beavis and Butthead. Come on. I mean, what more could they possibly do? It's literally lazy ass, what was it? Gen X or Gen... It was Gen X or Gen Y? Hold on. It actually says here in the article. Hold on. What the fuck was it? I remember seeing it, and I don't see it now. Where the hell was it? Crap. I actually remember seeing this now. Where the hell was it? It's like something, Jody... Oh yeah, it was the unadulterated satirical look at Gen X. Okay, so that was the Generation X series, and now it's going to be for Generation Y, or for Generation Z. Yeah, sure, what the hell. They're basically going to put a whole new coat of paint on it, make stuff that's a little more relevant. Hey, let's see what they can do. I mean, it'll probably piss off somebody down the road, it'll annoy somebody, and then they'll be wanting to cancel it, and then we'll have this massive argument over, is it good, is it worth it, why shouldn't it be like this? So I'm just going to get this out of the way right now. I never watched it. I know it existed, I've seen clips of it, I watched parts of the movie. Am I a fan of Beavis and Butthead? Not particularly, no. I was more of a fan of King of the Hill. I was more of a fan of Office Space and Idiocracy. I would even venture slightly out on a limb here and go that I know of Daria, and I was a little more intrigued by that show. Slightly. Not by much, but slightly. So yeah, no, I'm happy it's coming back. Because it'll probably be something that Gen Zers can look at and go, oh my god, this is so cool. Do I care enough to warrant a massive... No, not really. It doesn't bother me. It can come back, it can go. I mean, now, if you ever bring back Dilbert, now if I ever find out Dilbert's getting a revival, we gonna talk. That was a show. Yeah, that was a show. Alright, so this is definitely up there in some of the weirder yet interesting things. So in Japan, you can get married with a Sailor Moon marriage registration form. This is actually pretty interesting. So, a popular Japanese women's magazine has more than its usual makeup and clothing articles in its latest issue. They also specifically designed this Sailor Moon marriage registration form. Well, it's sporting it anyway. I don't think they specifically designed it themselves. It's not the first time, though, that a Sailor Moon marriage registration form has ever existed. But this is definitely a new one. It's showing both Usagi and Tuxedo Mask. And for those of you who don't know who Tuxedo Mask is, he's their, well, I really hate to say it this way, but it's really true. Not counting Artemis the cat, he's the only cock in the henhouse. I don't want, I mean no disrespect saying it that way, but if you look at it, aside from Artemis, he is literally the only guy in this entire series on the side of good. Yeah, he's the one that always gets his ass handed to him. He never finishes off the bad guy. I get it, it's a shoujo series, it's a magical girl series too, but yeah, still. But the magazine sports most of the Sailor Scouts and Sailor Moon herself, as well as Chibi Moon, and yeah, the fireworks are still going. Trying to figure out who we all have here. Neptune, Uranus, definitely Pluto, it's her up in the top there. I think Saturn, it looks like Mercury over there, Venus. I see Jupiter, or I'm almost damn sure that's Jupiter. That might actually be Mars then. Yeah, that's Mars. Yeah, that might actually be Mars, because I know I know Jupiter's up there in the corner above Venus, and Mars. Yeah, that might be Mars, because you have Sailor Moon, Chibi Moon, which is also her daughter. You have Pluto, Neptune and Uranus, Venus. That one looks like Saturn, which Saturn was supposed to be the one that was sort of on edge. So that's got to be Mars then by process of elimination. Wow, that's impressive. So Sora News 24 reported that publisher Kodensha says it selected the Sailor Moon Senshi to use in With magazine as a symbol of power and friendship, kindness and determination. All critical contributions to staying mentally healthy during the continuing coronavirus pandemic, which is causing many people to re-examine how they find happiness in their suddenly altered day-to-day lives. Well, if you live in my state, it's beer, alcohol, and bitching. For me, it's Dr. Pepper, Gatorade, and dry cereal. That's how I get through my day. Yeah, so this is With magazine. It's actually kind of interesting. You can actually order the magazine. I don't really want to, though. I'm sorry, I don't really want to. Because I guarantee you somebody will just take this out and just freaking sell it on eBay. So with many weddings, though, are being postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it might be some time before these new Sailor Moon certificates get much use. But wedding certificates, though, here in the States tend to be more low-key. Maybe this will see more designs on them in the future. Yeah, it's just what I think a lot of people want on a piece of paper that says that they've agreed to spend the rest of their lives with one another, provided they live happily ever after. Yeah, let's put a anime character on there. That's just what we wanted. I don't see that happening. But it is kind of an interesting concept. And I kind of liked it, though. But I like how they go here. If you were getting married, would you want a favorite manga or anime to illustrate your wedding registration? Not particularly, no. I think I would pass on that, actually. Mostly for the fact that I don't really want one. I mean, I said it pretty well the last few dozen times, and I'll say it again. I am the type of person that could never get laid in a women's prison with a handful of pardons. I don't see myself getting married. I know my mom's probably going, "Oh, I'm never getting grandkids." No, she knows that. I think she's made peace with that now. I think she's actually made peace with that now. I can tell you for sure, but I think she's made peace with that. But yeah, this is actually an interesting concept. But the certificate, though, itself, it's nothing to write home about. They have a picture of it here. And it's honestly nothing to write home about. It's just tuxedo mask, sucking face with Sailor Moon. That is literally all it is. Okay? That is it. And trust me, as somebody that has seen this series, as somebody that understands this series, as somebody that has watched this thing, I still cannot for the life of me figure out what and how in the hell her powers came to her in the first place. She's the Moon Princess, but yet she sent her daughter back in time to spend time with her as a younger adult to learn and grow. I never understood this. And when you actually sit down and watch some of the movies and you watch some of the reviews, they have a valid point. I mean, in the one movie, she keeps shooting a plastic dart gun at Unagi. This is her daughter, to knock some sense into her. The kid really wants to tempt fate here. But yeah, this is the type of thing that, while it's interesting, I think this is more of a novelty more than anything. And honestly, I mean, I could see this being like hardcore fans, and maybe this is what they met over. As for me, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing an anime character on this stuff. What would I want it to be? Oh, Eyes, Bakuman, countless others. There's thousands of others I would rather choose. But here's the thing. As this has been brought to my attention so many times, mind you, you don't do jack shit for your wedding. Your wedding is basically, this is what I want, yes dear. This is what I want, yes dear. This is what we're getting, yes dear. You're gonna get registered for a China set. You have no intention of ever throwing a dinner party. No. You're getting a China set. Somehow, for some reason, everybody wants a fucking China set that they register for. Oh, look, this is a China set. This is what we need. And I learned that from Till Death. And it's the sad part is, it's kind of true. If you ever, like, check out a wedding registry, there's usually always a China set on there. Almost every time. It's like a de facto thing. Boom, China set. Okay. I remember my one uncle's wedding. They registered at Walmart. Not joking. They registered at Walmart. So you print out the list from this thing. I actually printed 2 of them because we were going to basically figure out the best way to get this stuff and see if there was something that would fit along it, just in case we couldn't get the exact same one. And it was like a 2-page long receipt type of list here. And I'm just like, what the hell? Now, that's where I draw the line. I mean, I know my one friend registered, well, my best friend Andrew registered at, I think it was Bed Bath & Beyond. I just got him a sign. I got him and his wife, Sarah, a sign. And all it said was their last name. That's it. I got that. That was their wedding present. I thought it was nice. I thought it was sweet. It wasn't on your registry. I don't go by that. If everybody would go by that, we'd all be screwed. But yeah, I figure this is more like a novelty rather than anything else. But still, yeah, it is what it is. But still, it's pretty interesting. So if you're interested in it, you can pick up the magazine. There is an order thing in the article. I don't know if they're going to have it or how long it's going to take for you to get it. But, and again, I guarantee you somebody will have bought this, honestly, just for that certificate, that form, and we'll put it up on eBay for you to buy for a whopping astounding price. So it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be pretty costly, I can guarantee it. Holy crap, I actually have a bonus topic of the week. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. This is actually one that I wanted to talk about, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fit it in or not, but apparently, I'm talking about it anyway. It's a short article. So, there's going to be a VR Mega Man experience in Japan, and, first off, this kicks ass. This sounds pretty interesting. So, virtual reality Mega Man, game will be playable at the Plaza Capcom shop, I guess it's supposed to be shop, in, Tokyo's Ikebukuro. Which is actually pretty cool, starting July 18th. At the Plaza Capcom location, there's a permanent VR corner where people can experience Rockman VR armed at the virtual world. In the game, you're gonna don a headset created by Dr. Light himself and try to stop the evil Dr. Wily, because, you know, Dr. Wily is just pure, unadulterated evil. According to Capcom, this is the first time an arcade-style VR experience has been made for the series, giving people a first-hand virtual look at the world of Mega Man. Well, it can't be any worse than Mighty Number 9. That was a pain in the ass. That was a joke. So, I'm not gonna lie, this actually is kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is a virtual reality experience for Mega Man. This is pretty cool, and this, I'm kind of hoping this opens up like a floodgates for other stuff, maybe down the road, for VR stuff. But this is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of find this interesting. I dig this. This has my attention. This is pretty neat. So, yeah, it's July 18th, at the Plaza Capcom. I swear it's supposed to be shop. supposed to be shop, not shop, but the Plaza Capcom location in Tokyo's Ikebukuro section, starting July 18th. So check that out. It's be 2 weeks from this recording. So yeah, feel free to go check it out. You might like it. It might be entertaining. If it's fun, let me know. If you're over in Japan and you listen to my podcast and you listen to my show, let me know if it was fun or not. I mean, it sounds kind of interesting. I mean, it's a Mega Man game set in virtual reality. There's only been like a few Mega Man games that have sucked. Legends. Yes, Legends was a shit show. Oh god, Legends was a shit show. And I just remember every time I think of Mega Man now, and I think Mega Man Legends, I instantly go to Whiz and Boomstick's 5-way Mega Man battle, death battle, and Boomstick just losing his shit over how the Mega Man for Mega Man Legends is like, oh, well, Roll will find us. I know she will, because she knows we're up here. And then he's like, oh, no, don't give me that crap. That happy world that Dr. Light envisioned is all shot to hell, because Legends 3 is never gonna happen. And he just, like, goes off on a complete tangent for, like, a good 2 minutes. And I freaking love that part of the episode. That is one of my favorite parts. But this definitely sounds pretty cool. The poster here even looks pretty interesting. With Mega Man, I definitely can see the, what the hell are they? The metas, I guess? I don't remember the exact name of them. It looks like a Stone Man, and then a giant version of Stone Man, and a few other different little things, and Wily himself, and of course, the Blue Bomber, Mega Man, or as he's known over in Japan, Rockman. It's still pretty cool, I gotta admit. That is interesting. Yeah, this sounds pretty cool. I mean, I would like to see stuff like this happen outside of Japan, but this honestly seems pretty interesting. So, if you get a chance to check it out, you live over in Japan, and it's cool, hey, let me know if it was neat or not, if you wouldn't mind. I'm kind of curious if it was cool. But, that sounds pretty interesting. I mean, it could suck, it could be total garbage, I don't know. But it sounds cool. It does. It sounds cool. Alrighty, everybody, and that's going to do it then this week for the Absolutely Completely Random podcast. I apologize again for the fireworks. I was trying to get this done early enough, but with the heat and me stopping to, basically double-check something, and then waiting for stuff to load up, and trying to make sure I was going to have enough time, I ended up not making it in time before the fireworks started, so I do apologize. But anyway, yeah, there's that. Don't forget Q&A this month. I got some questions already, but hey, more questions the merrier. Again, shooting for 7/27 at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. It'll either go up, I'll probably try to record it that Tuesday. I'll either put it on like an SD card or something and try to upload it Wednesday, or it'll just go up quick Thursday morning, depending on what my work schedule is. So yeah, don't forget 7/27 is the cutoff date, 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please submit all your questions. Please have them ready to go. Don't forget to put parenthesis, that's the symbol above the 9, capital Q, ampersand, the symbol above 7, and capital A, and then the other parenthesis above the 0. Otherwise, I'll answer it right away in the comment section. There is one that I kind of figured would make a pretty good question for that, and I'm assuming it was supposed to be for the Q&A. Just don't forget to put parenthesis Q, ampersand A, parenthesis at the end of the comment for the Q&A video. I'll know which ones are for which video because I can easily pull them up between when the last one, from my last Q&A was, and the next Q&A's deadline. So I can easily pull up which ones are which. I copy, paste them into a note file, and make sure there's no duplicates. So, that's that. So, until next week, I'm Andrew Rhodes. It's been the Absolutely Completely Random podcast here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube channel. As always, stay frosty, much love, happy days, and yeah, I'm out of here, baby. Bye, and have a nice weekend, everybody.